Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I want to start with a question for you. Have you ever looked at the clock and realized you've spent hours scrolling on your phone, watching funny videos when you were supposed to be doing something important? Yeah, me too. It feels like our time just disappears. But what if I told you that you have over 3,000 extra hours every single year that you're not even aware of? Today, we're diving into a book that helps you find that lost time and use it to achieve your dreams. It's called The Psychology of Laziness by Mohammad Shakeel. This edition was published in 2020. The main idea of this book is super simple. Laziness and procrastination aren't just bad habits. They're bugs in our brain that we can actually fix. The author calls it the bug of procrastination. This book matters because we all want to do cool things, start a business, learn an instrument, get fit. But we often get stuck just thinking about it instead of doing it. This book is perfect for you if you're a student, a young person, or anyone who feels like they have big dreams but can't seem to get started. It's for anyone who feels like their smartphone might be controlling them more than they control it. So, the big question this book helps us answer is, how can we stop being our own biggest enemy and finally start working on our goals? Let's find out. To show us how it's done, the author shares a few powerful stories. The most memorable one is his own. He calls it his lazy to busy story. Mohammad Shakeel wasn't always a successful author and speaker. He says he used to be a big-time procrastinator himself. He would surf the internet for hours, play online games, and just hang out with friends all day. He had big dreams of making money and being successful, but he was under a lot of stress because he just couldn't get himself to start. He was stuck in a loop of planning all night and then losing all his excitement the next day. He kept telling himself, I have plenty of time, I'll do it later. And he was obsessed with the idea that anything he did had to be perfect, so he never even began. But then, he hit a breaking point. He decided to study how our minds and energy work. He learned about motivation, productivity, and a special brain chemical called dopamine. He applied what he learned to his own life, and the change was incredible. He started a YouTube channel called Kulmitra, and within 1 year, he had 1 million subscribers. Today, he has over 2.5 million subscribers, has given motivational seminars, won an award from the United Nations, and is running his own successful team. His own story shows that it's possible to go that when we realize our time is precious, we stop making excuses and start taking action. So, how do we make these changes without needing a life or death situation? The book breaks it down into a few core concepts. First is the idea of the 3,650 spare hours. The author does some simple time math. There are 8,760 hours in a year. If you subtract about 8 hours a day for sleep, but would probably guess they only check it 20 to 30 times. This shows we're not even aware of how much time we're losing. The author explains that tech companies design their apps to be as addictive as possible. This addiction leads to some serious problems. It messes with our sleep. The blue light from our phones can block a chemical called melatonin, which is what tells our brain it's time to sleep. It kills our attention span. Because we get used to super short videos and scrolling, our brains lose the patience to focus on one thing for a long time, like reading a book or learning a new skill. It can make us feel stressed and depressed. The third core idea is about a tiny chemical in our brain called dopamine. Think of dopamine as the brain's little reward system. When you do something that feels good, like winning a video game or getting a like on social media, your brain releases dopamine, which gives you a little kick of happiness and makes you want to do it again. The book explains that we are all chasing this good feeling. But here's the trick. You can get that same dopamine rush from productive things. When you solve a tough math problem, finish a workout, or make progress on a project, your brain also rewards you. The key is to train your brain to get its kicks from achieving your goals, not just from mindless scrolling. Finally, the book talks about necessity. The author argues that we don't truly commit to a goal until it feels like an emergency. Think about it. You might not want to fight someone for no reason, but if they were threatening your family, you would do whatever it takes to protect them. That's necessity. To stop procrastinating, you have to connect your goal to a super strong reason, a big why. When your goal stops being a someday thing and becomes a must-to-now emergency, you will find the energy to start. This book is full of simple, practical tips you can start using today. Here are my favorites. Do this if you feel like you have no time. Do the time math for yourself. Grab a piece of paper and write down the 8,760 hours in a year. Subtract your sleep time, work school time, and daily chores. See how many spare hours you actually have. It will probably shock you. Do this if your phone is your biggest distraction. Check your screen time report. Go into your phone settings and look at how many hours you spend on each app every day. Just being aware of it is the first step to taking back control. Do this if you need a motivation boost. Hack your dopamine. The author gives 4 simple ways to naturally increase this happy chemical. 1. Exercise. Even a short walk can boost your mood and your brain. 2. Get enough sleep. Aim for 7 to 9 hours. Good sleep helps your brain reset its dopamine levels so you feel focused and alert the next day. 3. Listen to music. Music can directly affect your mood and energy levels. Make a playlist that gets you pumped up. 4. Meditate. Even 1 hour of meditation can increase dopamine levels by 65%. Do this if your goal feels too big and scary. Break it down like you're making a movie. A movie starts as a tiny idea, then becomes a script, then they film small scenes one by one. Do the same with your goal. Write it down and break it into tiny micro goals. If you want to become a YouTuber, your first micro goal is just to come up with 1 video idea. That's it. Do this if you can't get started. Just start, even if it's messy. The book reminds us that waiting for the perfect moment is just another form of procrastination. A mediocre start is way better than no start at all, because you can always fix it later. Remember, later often becomes never. For me, this book was a fantastic, quick shot of motivation. What really changed my thinking was the 3,650 spare hours idea. It made me realize that I don't have time is usually an excuse, not a fact. The explanation of dopamine was also an eye-opener. It helps you understand that your brain isn't lazy, it's just looking for a reward in the easiest place possible, which is usually your phone. The book's biggest strength is its simple, conversational tone. The author writes like he's chatting with you on WhatsApp, which makes it super easy to read. It's short, direct, and you can finish it in one sitting. One small critique is that if you've read a lot of self-help books, some advice might feel familiar. Also, the book has a strange disclaimer calling it a work of fiction, but the content is clearly a self-help guide based on the author's real life. It's a bit confusing, but doesn't take away from the message. There are 2 quotes from the book that I think perfectly capture its message. 1. If you spend too much on your enjoyment today, you may have to sell your essential belongings tomorrow. But if you invest in essential assets today, you will surely be able to purchase more than basic amenities tomorrow. This is such a clear way of saying that what we do with our time now creates our future. Investing a few of those spare hours in learning a skill is much more valuable than spending them all on temporary fun. 2. The biggest reason for giving up is when you start finding something else more fascinating than the task in your hand. This quote perfectly explains why we get distracted. Our brains are wired to jump to the next shiny thing. The book teaches us how to make our goals the most fascinating thing in the room. So, is The Psychology of Laziness worth reading? Absolutely. I highly recommend it, especially if you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed by procrastination, or want to build better habits. It's a short, powerful, and incredibly practical guide to understanding your own brain and taking back control of your time. It gives you the why behind your laziness and the how to fix it. If you're ready to stop thinking and start doing, this book is the perfect kickstart. What about you? What's your biggest time waster? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this review and want more simple breakdowns of awesome self-help books, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.